Good afternoon, Raleigh, TEDxRaleigh. Definitely a pleasure to be here. My name is Johnny Hackett. I'm the founder and CEO of Black Dollar NC, which is a Black-owned business directory for the state of North Carolina that focuses on Black-owned businesses, listing Black-owned businesses throughout the state of North Carolina. We want to give them a platform and give them a place where users can find and do business and connect with other Black-owned businesses. So we've been doing a lot of work in Raleigh this year, definitely led to getting the invitation here, which I'm very pleased about. Didn't know exactly what I was going to talk about, but I had the ability to talk to some friends and some family, and they said, well, listen, whatever you talk about, make sure that it makes your job easier when you leave them, right? So I said, okay, now we got something. Let me figure out what I could talk about. And basically, I wanted to talk about a lot of the work that we've been doing in the city of Raleigh, especially this year and this summer, as you know, we've seen the unprecedented health crisis that we've gone through, as well as a lot of the social injustice things that we've dealt with this year, right? So as a founder and the CEO of a Black-owned organization that focuses on supporting African Americans, we're also always the go-to people for trying to figure out how best to support African Americans, whether business owners or personally and different things like that. We're not the only ones, but folks definitely come to us for that guidance and that support. And you know, we've been happy to say that we've been able to do that fairly well. And my message today is to try to get deeper to figure out how we in Raleigh can start to move to real tangible results in terms of supporting our African American community. And I want to start by talking about the differences between philanthropy and investment. I think there is a big difference between philanthropy and investment, and a lot of times, you know, when certain things happen from a social standpoint, you hear folks say, oh, you know, well, we have to invest in the Black-owned community, we have to invest in the personal safety or protection from African Americans in our communities and in our neighborhoods. And I don't know, sometimes I look back and, you know, some of the things we're not doing, I don't know if you can truly call that investment, you know, when you actually think about what an investment is and actually return on investment, right? So a lot of times, you know, folks have these statements where, you know, you may stand with us, you know, you're for equality and inclusion and different things like that. And while all of that is great, I think we're going to start to put things like that in the philanthropy bucket. You know, those things are very good. Those are things that we want to have happen, right? But do those things make the long-term changes that we're looking for? Because I know folks like myself, folks like other African Americans, we're in this to solve these problems. You know, when we have situations like Trayvon Martin happen, we don't want those things to happen again. We want to eliminate those things, right? So we are in it for the long haul, which, you know, is kind of what an investment would be. So a lot of the quotes and the slogans and the conversations and even a donation, right? These things are philanthropy. You know, when you make a donation to an organization or when you make a statement that you stand with a particular group of people, you know, you're able to do that and then you can walk away from it. You know, a donation is great. You can give $50 or $100 to this organization and then you're able to walk away from that. And philanthropy is good. We need philanthropy, but we need investment. And I know from what I know about the city of Raleigh, we create businesses here. We are one of the most innovative cities in the world, if you ask me, right? So how does Raleigh become or move from being philanthropy to actually moving to investment in terms of investing in African American businesses, right? You know, I asked a question before to my friends. I'll ask you here, how many multi-million-dollar Black-owned businesses do we have right here in the city of Raleigh? Does anybody know? You know? We don't know. I don't know that either, right? So let's set a goal, right? And this might be a little ambitious, but let's set a goal that in the next 10 years, we want at least 5 multi-million-dollar Black-owned businesses in the city of Raleigh, right? That should be a goal. And when you invest in that, you don't walk away from that. When someone invests in a business, you invest to make sure that that product gets up to speed, that management team gets up to speed. You make sure that their website is right. You make sure that their marketing techniques are right. You invest that money, that time, and that energy into that business, and you don't walk away from it because you're invested in it. So you actually are going to get a return on that investment. That's not a bad thing. That's business. That's how business should happen, and that's what true investment is. You don't walk away from that, right? So let's move from philanthropy to more so investment type things. There are other things that we can do, again, that make sure that we invest the right types of things, the right types of resources and money into our businesses, into Black-owned businesses in particular. So another goal, we have a lot of food production type organizations and businesses right here in the city of Raleigh. We're doing some amazing things from a food production standpoint, right? Raleigh could be a pillar of food production if we invested the right type of resources into those businesses. Black-owned businesses as well. Food is very important. I don't think anybody would argue with that. So how do we go from philanthropy to really investing into those businesses and making Raleigh the hub for food production? That's just another example there. Schools, how many, African-American led schools or charter schools do we have? These are the types of things that the community needs that we can invest in and start to turn the tables on, a lot of the things that happen in our society that happen year over year or month over month, right? Again, philanthropy sometimes doesn't solve the problem. We want to make sure that when these things happen, we don't want to see these things happen again. So let's move to investment and really try to tip the scale with that. So that's my challenge to everyone here, is try to understand exactly where you fit and where your role is. Again, there's nothing wrong with philanthropy, but if you want to do more, if you want to make sure that these things don't happen in our city anymore, let's start to move to more long-term things. Now, I believe that Raleigh has the infrastructure to be able to do these things. Again, I've seen some great things in the city of Raleigh, working with city officials, working with other organizations. Folks in Raleigh are truly together, and they are committed to making Raleigh a better place. Black, white, and doesn't matter what color you are, man, female, doesn't matter. The folks in Raleigh here are together, and sometimes you can be so together on something that you don't really realize that there may be an underlying issue with other things. And that's okay sometimes, as long as we can realize that, and then we start to take those tangible steps to make changes and to fix the things that are broken within our own society. So that's why I challenge everyone today, is to find out what side of the fence you're on. Again, nothing wrong with philanthropy. But we want to move towards more so investments. And if you can invest that time, those energy, the resources, and the finances into certain areas from a personal standpoint, a society standpoint, a business standpoint, whatever it is, right? Let's make sure that we start working with those groups where we can invest, those grassroots organizations, and build those up so that we truly have something to be proud of, and we can start to eliminate some of those recurring issues that come back and forth often. So that's my spiel. That's my speech for today. I appreciate it. Thank you.